What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. What this microphone is just really annoying me this evening. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the show. As always, we appreciate you guys being here. It is the day no one expected to happen. I mean, we even took a vote on it last night, and the view was that tariffs would not be a problem. Turns out they are. All right. Turns out they're illegal. Well, I mean, technically, the tariffs aren't actually illegal. The IEPA tariffs are. Anyway, it's going to be pretty wild. So we're going to talk all about it tonight. And, well, I guess the big question is, why is the market pushing to the upside? If this whole idea of tariffs was bad news, then the market's doing the complete opposite. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into a little bit as to why, if, how, all this kind of stuff, and a scandal that is coming out on the back of these tariffs. That's right, a big scandal that may unwind the Trump administration. So we're going to be talking all about that tonight, getting into the nuances of what exactly is going on right now in this market. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're just coming into the channel. We appreciate you guys. We're here every day of the week, except Saturdays, all right? Last stream of the week. I don't stream on a Saturdays. I take Saturday nights off. But with that being said, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you all got a nice cup of tea to drink, and you are sitting in and relaxing, because it's going to be a good show. All right? It's going to be a good show. Okay, let's do this. And let me put you there, TikTok, so you can see the price action really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on the price action. I think it's worthwhile just touching on a little bit, and then we'll get into the I guess the story of the day, isn't it? The big announcement from Trump. FYI, by the way, 10% tariffs are already back on. There is more tariffs. So yeah, Trump's kind of stuck two fingers up. I mean, it's not really a massive surprise, is it? But anyway, I'm making more on taxes. Hold on, what? I'm making more on Texas hold. Oh my god, Texas Hold'em. I couldn't even read that. Okay, so here we go then. Let's talk about BTC. Let's get into the crypto market. Let's try and piece together what is going on right now. Obviously, we are into the weekend. I don't believe there's any surprise at all, by the way, that the announcement has come kind of post-market. So we'll take a look at the futures, albeit we're looking way ahead of where we should be, but it'll be interesting to get a bit of a feel for it. So BTC right now, I did, for those in the private Discord, lose both of my trades annoyingly last night. So I lost the short trade that I put on earlier on in the day that I generally thought I was going to get, or that kind of wicked and then wicked up, and then I lost another one as well. So definitely the markets are very much unpredictable at the minute, but starting to play out very, very interesting. So we're not going to go too further back. We'll stick here, look, on the 4-hour chart. And this was kind of my theory here, look. We kept and held the 20-day all the way, and I was like, okay, retest here, look. 20-day EMA, downside, lots of nervousness, Iran, tariffs, all this. Nope, broke above, retested the 50 and held onto that price range. So really interesting here on BTC. What's even more interesting, though, is breaking back below the 50, heading back down again to these support levels. So nothing like, nothing signaling any sort of crazy move right now. The argument actually, and I can't believe I'm even saying this, that maybe the answer is simply a long trade. Yeah, I mean, look, Craig, that's it. And I always put stop losses on now as well. So, I think I lost like $65 last night, and I think I lost about $200 during the day, which is fine. Like, I mean, I'm not going to stress all that, but some interesting price action going on here right now, specifically with BTC as well. So if we were to see this kind of, push up a little bit further here on this price range, you can see where this is key support right now. So above 67.723 actually might signal, weirdly, a rally into the weekend. Maybe people freak out. And one thing to note here, by the way, is obviously everyone's like, oh, everyone's FOMOing into gold. Well, not as much. But what's interesting here with gold, remember we talked about this pattern, didn't we, yesterday? So we said, look, watch out for this obvious pattern here with gold, and we get exactly the same. If this breaks out, maybe we get a bit of a weird weekend when it comes to gold. I still stand by my sentiment, though, even though silver is kind of going parabolic again. Very much, though, people will tell you, oh, silver's going to the moon, and you're like, well, I mean, it's still very much a decline right now. Till silver gets back above about $93, I still think it's a downtrending market here. But some key things to think about: stochastic RSI is massively overbought right now. And also the prime oscillator here telling us that, look, price is rallying to the upside. You just have to be very, very mindful of where it looks. But more on that a little bit later on in the show. So let's talk about short term. Long term is still bearish, right? Don't matter how you look at it. Don't matter what. I mean, some people are saying, well, you know, this 200 EMA retest is actually pretty bullish. We're going to see this kind of reversal coming in on BTC. I don't buy it one bit, actually. I actually think this is just simply doing exactly what we thought, which is going to kind of flatten out and then zoop. That's my opinion here on BTC. I might be wrong, but it certainly is. Fast Sonic says, just turning in. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, we missed you last night. But yeah, I bought into Google for my weekend play. Nice, no hype. Yeah, there's some stocks out there that are definitely rallying. I mean, I think Oracle's a pretty interesting buy. We've talked about them and looked at their balance sheet a number of times before as well. So BTC on the longer time frame, no one really cares. Daily time frame, still holding up. Expectations still, by the way, is this is a downtrend. You know, again, people are going to tell you it's not, but it is. So unless BTC breaks back above around $70,000, and I'll show you something later on that's telling you why this is actually a really key part. And in my opinion is the rejection down here. That's the, you know, this kind of line here around $69,000 to $70,000, but very much in a decline. And you could maybe argue that, look, you know, from a daily perspective, BTC might be setting up for a little bit of a move, you know, maybe, you know, the pattern's playing out here in the daily channel. Equally, like we've always said, the M pattern is always generally bearish. Okay. So, you know, be mindful of those. So anyway, that's where BTC sits on a higher time frame. So let's go a little bit nearer. Let's dive into some smaller time frames and understand, you know, some of the more important ideas as to where we are and potentially where we're going to go, right? So here we are on the 4-hour chart. Again, this key bit below the 50, above the 20, some people will be like, oh, well, it's fine. It's just that consolidation. But, you know, we'll see. What's going on? William Cliff's in the house. It's definitely for a crash through the weekend. I mean, let's hope not. Eh? Let's hope not. Could be a double bottom, but they're still keeping above 65k. Yeah, maybe. I listen to the show even when I'm at work, but I can't chat here. It's all good, mate. It's all good. Dillinger Dave in the house. Man, it's been a minute. Good to see you, buddy. 2-bit. I have to disagree with you on this one. I think these tariffs being outlawed will speed up the bottoming out for BTC. Yeah, so do I. I still think that's bad news, by the way. That's what I'm saying at the very start. I don't understand why the market is rallying. The two things don't make sense, but I'm going to walk through some of the key things that I think are going to be the root cause. I think people are just simply panicking for the weekend. So the tariff announcement itself isn't probably the big, because everyone's expecting what's happened. We all priced it in that Trump would just go, okay, let's go use 304 and 301. Like, all right, fine. So yeah. Whether it dumps aggressively, and I think this will depend on the Federal Reserve and it'll depend on a few bits, but for me, the trajectory is still very, very clear, and I still believe we're heading down here. So I haven't done anything other than tried to short the market twice and got rejected and, well, not liquidated, but I lost both of those trades going short on the market. So yeah, I think anyway that we'll see this down. Maybe we get a little bit more relief. We hold above the 20 for a little bit longer, but yeah. If we go a little bit nearer, let's go to the hourly chart. We actually seem to be a little bit more bullish here, albeit we are currently showing that this potentially is setting up for a reversal. You've got the play out here. Look, there's the W pattern that generally seen as bullish. We get the break to the upside, but watch out. We are starting to break down here. And equally, you could argue maybe we get the inverse head and shoulder pattern. So shoulder, playing out the head, shoulder at the side. And that would then, again, give us a bearish sentiment to the downside as well. So even on the hourly chart, you'd argue we are definitely looking like we are going lower. If we lose 67,649 here, which we kind of are just hanging on above, I would expect us to push lower here to around 66.8, and then we start to then, in my opinion, start to push right down. So short term, I don't expect anything super crazy. I don't just randomly expect some dump to 63k over the next 24 hours. I actually think the weekend's probably going to hold up reasonably flat with maybe some little upside moves, maybe a little bit of liquidity hunting from, you know, bigger wallets out there. But actually, when you look at that in the 4-hour, we're just looking for this breakout, aren't we? Let's just be dead honest here. On BTC, we are, I mean, you could argue that you can come up from that, well, probably a bit lower actually, come from that key support line there. You know, we're looking for that kind of breakout, and BTC is doing exactly what we, oh, come on, T-Bit, what the hell are you doing? BTC is doing exactly what we thought. You know, where's the breakout down? What does that look like? Well, that's easy, isn't it? You take that, you go to there. Oops. So, you know, we're looking at potentially 16% breakdown from the top here, taking us to 16%, takes us to pretty much just underneath the bottom range of that price target where we're looking at. So, Saeed, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Did we talk about Iran yet? Because I wanted to share yesterday, there are so many reasons that Iran won't be getting bombed yet. We haven't really talked about Iran. It's not on my list to talk about tonight, but we can definitely get into it. Will there be reimbursements for those affected by tariffs? I mean, technically it's $187 billion, I think it is. And Trump's kind of already gone, no. But he did it in a slightly better way than I had. But yeah, essentially he said no. My entire thesis, 65K, we lose it. 83% total below 221 USD. My long trades are invalidated. Too bad. Oh, you said that, didn't I? Okay. So that's kind of where we are in terms of price. Just dead quick. A couple of other coins out there worth noting, by the way. Look at that on the 12-hour, by the way. That chart looks crazy. ETH holding up, still bearish. Don't care what anyone says. Still looks bearish. Solana did get nearly a double bounce here off the bottom. So Sol wicking to the 20-day EMA. If we can break that, might end up being decent. What else going on out there? ADA, after we gave it some shit yesterday, is sort of coming back a little bit. Outside of that, everything's just had a reasonably okay day. But I think a lot of the gains were made prior to the announcement for the tariff situation. For example, Chainlink up about 4% on the day, Swift, as we've looked at, and then you've also got things like Dupe. I mean, interesting enough, Dupe's starting to rally, which is kind of nice. Canton back above, Craig. I'm sure you're happy about that one. Again, bouncing off the lower support after that massive sell-off that we saw, you know, yesterday, which is kind of interesting. And even some memes, with the exception of Pepe. You got Brett moving, Pengu moving, Snek, Pump we touched on yesterday, still at 1.2. Again, holding off the 20-day EMA. Where the story gets interesting is gold and silver we touched on, but stock markets and treasury bonds. Why? People are now diving into them. We'll take a look at the futures market, albeit, like I said, it's super early, really, to look at those, but it kind of gives us some sort of indication as to where we're going. And then stocks on a reasonably day. See, Oracle, as crazy as it sounds, I just think this is a potential. Now, am I going to hold it for the next 20 years? And by the way, I don't really do the stock market, but Oracle does feel tempting. It does feel tempting, given the whole AI narrative. You know, it's not going to go away, so, you know, worth keeping your eye out for. In my opinion, by the way. But like I said, we'll stick close to BTC. We'll keep a very much close eye on what's going on over the course of the next, you know, however long we're left for, like an hour live. What is he counting back to the 17s? Yeah, I know, dude. We haven't gone below yet. That's true. That's true. If the sentence got chopped up, be a 0.65K, whatever chart you look at. Okay, I get that. All right. So let's get into it then. Let's walk and talk through exactly what happened. Now, obviously, it's no secret. The Supreme Court of the United States essentially now voted against Donald Trump's tariffs. They voted against the IEEPA use of the tariffs. So not specifically the tariffs. And this is where people are getting just a little bit confused with everything, right? They're just getting a little bit confused as to how this plays out. So this isn't a like, oh, the tariffs are bad, they're illegal, like all this kind of stuff. Because if they were illegal, they'd arrest him, all right? But what they're saying is the IEEPA tariffs shouldn't be doing it. But there are some support coming back for Trump. So it was a 6-3 vote with 2 out of the 6 that voted against actually being some of the Republican appointee justices by Donald Trump in his first time. So kind of super crazy if you think about it in that sentiment. But Donald Trump says, to show you how ridiculous the opinion is, the court said that I am not allowed to charge even $1 to any country under IEEPA. I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which is they should be interested in protecting. But I'm allowed to cut off and at all trade or business with the same country, even imposing a foreign country to destroy an embargo and do anything else I want to do to them. How nonsensical is that? They are saying that I have to absolute right to license, but not to right to change a license fee. What license has ever been issued without the right to change the fee? But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, a much more powerful right than many people thought we had. Our country is the hottest anywhere in the world, but now I'm going in a different direction, which is even stronger than our original choice, as Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his dissent. So this Justice Kavanaugh kind of thing, which is super interesting, has kind of gone, hey, like this isn't right, and we should absolutely not be going there. He says this, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal states authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, that the tariffs issued in this case. The statute includes, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, the Trade Act of 1974, and the Tariff Act of 1930. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh. So essentially what he's saying here is that, all right, you can't use IEEPA, so the emergency, whatever it is, like emergency expenditure of trade and something else. I can't remember that word of it. But what's interesting, though, is that then they've just flipped, as we knew they would, and impose totally different tariffs. The point here, though, is that they're saying, look, these IEPA tariffs you can't use. Everything else, though, yeah, you're fine. You're fine, which is kind of wild if you think about it, which is probably a little bit as to why you are getting a move in the market. But this is the big bit, okay? This is kind of what everyone's freaking out about. And I guess the potential and what everyone's, probably in a world of, which is the US now facing $175 billion worth of a document. Why is that not doing that? Super annoying. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. So $175 billion in potential tariff refunds, okay? Helicopter, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. I'm pretty sure I shared the opinion that Trump will get the tariffs thrown away and that all tariffs would shoot. Yeah, I mean, that's it. He's already said he's going to pivot and put some new tariffs on, which is insane. But in the most anticipated ruling in decades, the US Supreme Court has ruled that President Trump's emergency tariffs are illegal. This exposes the Trump admin to a potential $175 billion in tariff refunds. Let's talk about how this plays out. So, worth noting, $175 billion is essentially what they believe has been paid for in tariffs. But this is where the narrative slightly confuses me personally is, if the tariffs hurt the US, and I saw some statistic earlier on that said US citizens have paid like 87% of the tariff imposed, then where does that $175 billion go? Because it can't be going offshore. It has to surely go back to the people in the US if they're then saying that and if it doesn't go back to the US, they're admitting the fact that tariffs don't impact the average customer, the average person, which is kind of wild. So if you think about that. So where does this all then play through and what do we need to understand? Well, look, 5 months the Supreme Court's ruling was released. The court ruled IEPA does not authorize the president to impose these tariffs. IEPA is a law, and Trump used to impose tariffs, which gives him special economic power during a national emergency involving foreign threats. And again, there's the official statute. It says here that IEPA does not authorize the president to impose tariffs. The judgment is number 24-1287. Is vacated and the case is remanded, instructed for dismissal of the lack of jurisdiction. The judgment number is 25-250, is affirmed. So essentially, yes, if you are a president, you cannot impose laws. That's not your job. Essentially, they go to the Senate. The Senate say yes, and then the president signs them off. So the ruling specifically applies to IEPA tariffs, okay? So this is kind of where it gets a little bit confusing. 25% tariffs on most Canadian imports, 25% on most Mexican imports, 10% later higher tariffs on many Chinese imports, 10% on reciprocal tariffs on all countries, okay? So many of the original tariffs, though, they don't make a difference, right? They're still there. So all of these kind of, slightly different tariffs, they're not really there, which is kind of wild when you think about it. But the fact here is that, look, when you start getting into a little bit more detail and you sort of understand where we get to with it, it's where it all gets a little bit wild. So given the fact that we've seen these tariffs, then it gets a little bit more spicy. But this exposes the Trump admin to a potential of $175 billion in refunds. However, these refunds are all but certain. The ruling states Trump must point to clear congressional authorization to impose tariffs. Congress could still pass a bill to approve these tariffs. This is where you start to get it crazy. And this may be the reason we get the last dump in the market, the final push down before everything goes crazy, right? In my opinion, okay? And the fact here is that, well, currently, just a 36% chance that Trump admin is forced to refund tariffs. We'll talk about the kind of scandal that's coming out on the back of all of this in a minute, which may result in one of Trump's most trusted advisors actually leaving his position. Pretty wild. The means base case assumption remains that tariffs will not be entirely refunded. Refunding these tariffs would be an extremely difficult ordeal, which, again, we've all said this for the longest time, which means tariffs, tariff revenue, the whole idea of it, arguably the economy, although US GDP only came in at 1.4%, which shows a decline of nearly 2% since the last one. We said that might happen. It means that essentially not going to pay it back. So that's why Trump's literally slammed on the new ones. The Supreme Court actually commented on the potential for refunds. The refund process is likely going to be a mess. This was officially quoted by the Supreme Court. On top of $175 billion of potential refunds, trillions in trade deals, and millions in consumer producer are involved. A truly messy situation. Fair to say, they're not going to do it. And then you sort of get into this final word where it says, look, in here, we do not expect tariffs to go away anytime soon. And tariffs under Section 301, Section 232, and other trade laws remain. These include 7.5 to 25% tariffs on China, 25% steel, 10% aluminium, and then also effective rate can remain above 10%. And what else has Trump done? Slammed 10% off the entire globe. So he just slapped another 10%. I mean, why the hell not? He might as well if it's all going there. But current effective tariff rate stands at 17%, still at a 90-year high. And the fact here is that, and we'll talk about this quote here, but yeah, Trump basically has gone absolutely nuclear, as we said he was going to do. It was always going to happen. Trump can gain congressional approval, expand Section 301 and 232 tariffs, and use Section 122 import surcharges as a workaround. Now, here's the debate. Is he going to try and push something through the congressional avenue, given that they have the majority, which, tinfoil hats on everybody, may be the reason he is going to absolutely skyrocket this economy, because he's going to need to win the midterms. I actually think this sets up a really interesting 3 or 4 months, because not only have you got this kind of tariff idea, but man, think about it. Epstein, tariffs, like GDP decline, albeit, you know, government shutdown's not going to help with all that. Like, he's going to have to really do some crazy shit to get this economy moving again. But for this reason, we believe the market's reaction will not be as severe as many expect. Watch the US dollar, and the bond market, as shown below, the US dollar saw an interstitial surge and drop on the news less than 2 hours later, and the US dollar index is unchanged. This is the important bit, though, the bond market, which, again, we've looked at. The bond market favorably is actually holding up pretty well. Why? Because people are probably going to go into bonds versus stocks on the assumption stocks are going to dump. You might even see the crazy the rotation out of crypto assets, because they think that, well, it's super volatile, it's going to dump, and it might not. Pretty wild. But the 10-year note yield is actually up on the day, but is 1 basis point. The April 25 trade war, the bond market was the only leading indicator to watch. Remember, bonds are important because they essentially are going to guarantee you a return on your investment. They're seen as a government-backed safe bet. So, you know, worthwhile thinking about as we walk through there. So where does that kind of leave us? I mean, I didn't mean to put that up there. I'm only kidding. This is all down to Trump's loophole. The fact that they're triggering the 1974 Trade Act and completely bypass the Supreme Court ruling, keep the taxes alive. All right. Which is exactly why you've seen the markets hold exactly where they are. All right. Bit more to come, yeah. When the tariff don't finally settle down, no, here we go again. Yeah, I know, tell us about it. Yeah. This is all garbage narrative, not to be rude. It's going to be insanely hard to pass it through Senate. Yeah, of course it is. Look, I'm not saying it's going to go either way. The view would be that these are the options that I guess, I mean, where does he sit right now? He's got 2 options, hasn't he? He completely revokes on his tariffs, pays $175 billion back, or tries to find a way of doing it, or pivots and goes down a different avenue. What's going on, Henrik? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the upvotes, my man. Thank you so much indeed. You legend. By the way, government is still partially shut down. Yeah, the DHS funding. How's the yen? I mean, the yen's been holding up all right, in fairness. Not going super crazy, but yeah, the yen's been holding up all right. So yeah. So that kind of gives you, in my opinion, just a flavor of exactly kind of what's going on, and more importantly, where it could get to. So we'll talk about these charts in a minute because they are important. So, you know, maybe this just isn't as bad as we think it is, which may raise the price. Here's my assumption. I think if you were going to walk through crypto Twitter over this weekend, you're going to see people being like, oh, the bear market bottom's going to come, and everyone will raise their price by about 10K. I bet you don't see people calling for like 30K again. I feel like that's going to go. Everyone will have assumed this market was going to tank its rear end off, and it hasn't. But just my opinion, I still think it is going to push down. So it is worth, you know, kind of being very mindful of what's going on. So where does that leave us in a little bit more of a further stance? And like I said, I do want to talk about specifically the scandal that's coming out with all of this tariff news. So let's do that first, actually, because it is kind of wild. So there was somebody originally that wrote the whole tariff assumption, okay? And I don't know if you guys know this, but basically, back in the day, when these first tariffs came out, Howard Lutnik was very much part of this tariff idea. He was kind of the orchestrator. He supported in terms of writing the tariffs, how they all feed in. Obviously, he's a very established businessman. Now, there is lots going around now that actually Howard Lutnik just played a blinder. Trump's Commerce Secretary loves tariffs if former investment bank is taking bets against them. A subsidiary of Cantor Fitzgerald, which is run by the sons of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik, is letting clients essentially bet that President Trump's tariffs will be struck down in court. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, too bad. What's this got to do with anything? This is July 21st, 2025. Think about that. So last year, there was this view that that Howard Lutnik's company was allowing people to bet against Trump tariffs, basically saying at some point they will be revoked. And the argument that's going on now is that did Howard Lutnik, the former chief executive of the financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald, was appointed Commerce Secretary in early 2025, has been one of the most vocal advocates for tariffs, make billions of dollars. The report I saw, look at this, is insane. For every $100 invested, Lutnik's sons may have just made a 3 to 5x on that investment. That is wild, bro. Like, wild. This is some deep rabbit hole shit that honestly probably doesn't matter. I mean, maybe. It depends how bad it is. Like, if it comes out and they took bets against tariffs being revoked and they've made billions of dollars, then yeah, that's going to be pretty tasty, isn't it? If President Trump can still impose tariffs through the Tariff Act of 1930 and the Trade Act of 1974, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we talked about that. So that's exactly the plan. Yeah, I'm an XRP holder and recently started day trading, but I've experienced some tough losses doing it alone. I'm still learning and trying to improve. Any solid tips? Yes. Our Discord is the place to be. We have 4 full guides on how you can trade it in different strategies, different patterns, as well as a great community that's in there, and 2 bots that support your technical analysis and take a look at it. You become a channel member here, you get access to that for literally $6, $7 a month. It's the best Discord out there, and decrease some great traders in there as well. So it's a little bit quiet. I'm going to sit here and tell you it's not, but you are not going to find anything like that anywhere else. And just be here on the live streams. We talk about charts, analyze charts every single night. So do get us in there. So yeah, look at this. One post reads, Howard Lutnik's family firmly reported bought tariff refund rights for 20 to 30 cents on the dollar after Liberation Day last year. What? No conflict of interest. Exactly. It's kind of wild, isn't it? It's kind of wild. Assuming that, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But yeah, Lutnik potentially just absolutely banked on this whole Trump idea. So tariffs, we'll see where it goes. I don't think it's the biggest deal right now. And actually, the fact that we just pivoted and then slapped another 10% on global tariffs and the markets kind of went, I'm sick of tariffs. Who cares? Like, we're just going to move on. Is even more interesting. But what does that mean for the charts? What does that mean for prices? Where are we going to get to? Well, there's a couple of key points to reference here. Titan of Crypto telling us that, look, what is playing out here as we've seen the 618 Fibonacci and the 786 Fibonacci. The retracement zones has historically offered good reaccumulation opportunities, which puts us, if you see $60,000 is a 618 Fibonacci with the 786 around 40,000. In my opinion, this sort of comes up a little bit. But, if you believe in trading some of these Fibonacci numbers, 618 definitely is aligning to what that could look like. So Titan of Crypto given us a very interesting view. Now, I did talk about earlier what are some of the key price actions, the realized price distribution? Essentially, where do people generally buy most of their cryptocurrency in the current market? And what you can see here is that actually between about 71,000 and about 82 is a very, very key level. Very key level of where people consistently buy. 67K is the most traded price with over 618,000 Bitcoin for nearly 3% of the supply. The area had over 241,700 Bitcoin transacted in just 3 weeks. So most people right now are buying 67K. This is a very key range where you can see lesser volume here, but 67K, 66.8, these 2 big spikes are where most people are buying BTC. If you're looking at in terms of price structure, this supports, this supports kind of the narrative. You can even put like if you put a rectangle on here and said, right, 67,000 to around 66,000, you kind of align to a pretty interesting, trade pattern. Look at that, even where we are trading within this range. So, I mean, should we leave this on? We could leave this on, actually. Let's change it though to, let's change it to a marginally green box because it'd be a bit more interesting. So the most traded section here on the price, and I'm going to lock that as well so you don't move it around. We'll keep that on there. Yeah, Lewis, welcome. Obviously, only do what you can afford. Always assume that you lose everything, but they may join our Discord and YouTube group. There you go, with free TA and chart analysis of the Discord. There you go. See, Lewis? That's what it's all about. They are all lower than Snake's belly. Yeah, I mean, politics is a joke. It is a joke. I'm not going to lie. And, you know, UK politics is even worse, right? Even worse. So, Craig, bullish on that membership for 5 months, bro. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, man, for the channel membership. You absolute hero. Yeah, you said, Lewis, join us. Well, Michael Strategy bought 175 million worth last week. Yeah, Strategy keep buying the dip, which is pretty interesting, isn't it? So yeah, very interesting here. So 67K is absolutely a key level for us to think about where you get some significant price movement, price analysis, all of that kind of good stuff. All right, pretty interesting. Craig with a gifted. Although it went to Tony, it didn't go to Lewis. Tony, if you are in our Discord, let me know. We'll give you access to the premium Discord for a month free trial, baby. Shout out to Craig for that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I say, if you want to grab a channel membership, it does give you access to our premium Discord. Totally worth it. All right. But yeah, enjoy the month free and on Craig. So thank you so much, Craig. Appreciate it. And then look, there is a bold claim going around right now. We looked at this yesterday, but I wanted just to dive a little bit deeper in it. The assumption here, based on the Bitcoin versus US dollar range, is that the chart is screaming that the cycle bottom is in 10 days. Now, I know you're thinking 2-bit. You can't say that. It's nonsense. But if the 4-year pattern is still in play, BTC will dump to 56,000 in March before kicking off a new cycle. Position accordingly. Is this then where we're going to get a downward wedge, heading down to these low ranges around 60,000? Perfect. This is where, in my opinion, by the way, you should have your trades set up, folks. Don't miss out, all right? You need to make sure that they are absolutely set out. RPM! Craig's going wild with the gifted memberships. Thank you, man. Craig coming in fresh right now with 2 gifted memberships and renewing his own. So shout out to you, buddy. RPM, are you in the Discord? I feel like you are. I feel like I may have seen your name in the Discord. I'm going to check out now and see if you are in there, actually. Let me see. RPM. Are you RPM in the Discord as well or not? If you are, let me know and I'll give you access to the premium Discord, but I don't see your name actually. I can't see it straight off. So yeah. Let me know. All right. So potentially this is that. 10 days from now. Where would that put us? Just FYI. So let's call it from here. 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Puts us at the 3rd of March. Okay. So what would that need to look like then to get to the 3rd of March at 60,000 from our current price? So if we go from there to 3rd of March at 60,000. So it's going to need to be about, I mean, it's kind of going to be wild, isn't it? It's going to need to be that sort of pattern. I mean, that feels a little bit unlikely in my opinion. The only buy signal for BTC is when Peter Schiff says, I told you so. Yeah. Steve, what's going on? Peter Schiff's been loving life right now. He's been loving life. Okay, man. Well, you get a cool little signal next to your name. You get to use some little emojis. And you get access to content a little bit earlier if we do some. So yeah. To be like Sui, yeah, Beebs, it's on my shopping list. Sui is definitely one on my shopping list that I probably load up when, you know, BTC comes down here. I kind of feel like 10 days is not quite where I don't think 10 days works. Because where does 10 days put us in terms of some of the key elements that's happening over the course of this week? I like Sui, just not a good one to trade. Yeah, agreed. It's a spot bag hold. It'll do very, very well, in my opinion. Right. 10 days. So where do we get to with that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we get core PPI in about 10 days time, which could be interesting. And we get ISM PMI. Oh, do we get ISM manufacturing then? Oh, we do. So March 2nd, the day before, we get ISM manufacturing PMI. Oh, well, maybe we get, you know, maybe we do this. I mean, this would be bullish if we do. I think it's going to feel a bit more like, I think it feels a bit more like sort of middle of March, maybe. Generally speaking, you want like a 45-degree angle, really. That's kind of that's kind of the rule of thumb. So, you know, we'll see if we play out like that. 10 days, US versus Iran before 10 days. I mean, that's true as well. That's potentially true. Crazy Sui is the best trade. Yeah, I like Sui. I think, and especially where it's valued at right now. You know, where are we at on Sui, just as an example? 95 cents right now. Still within this range. But look, this is kind of where I've got a price target here, around 69, 70 bucks. I'd like to, 70 cents, which again, Could be good. Yeah, Fairground, we've just been talking about it. Markets don't care. Like, that's super interesting if you ask me. But yeah, good to see you, by the way. Welcome in as always. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Let me know what you think of the tariffs yourself. But yeah, it's interesting the markets don't care. But I think the reason the markets don't care is they already priced in that he would just flip to 301 and 304, which is exactly what he's done. So, and actually, if anything, probably allowed even more presidential power when it comes into it. So pretty interesting. But yeah, maybe this kind of works in. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes out. Okay. Couple of other bits just to note, and then we'll get into all your thoughts, your questions, your opinions, and whatever else you want to talk about. But core PCE at 3% in December 2025 as Q4 slowdown keeps Fed cautious. So remember, we did get GDP. It was 1.4%, which isn't great. Headline number, not good. All right. That was against a revised number of 4.4 from last time, an expectation of 3.4. So arguably, you'd say the US economy in the last month slowed. Okay. It's life. All right. I'm going to sit here and make up stuff that's not true. But so it did slow, right? What am I looking for here? I'm looking for something. I can't think what I'm looking for. Can't remember. I was looking for something anyway. But yeah, so PCE actually came in. Core PCE rose 3% year over year in December, exceeding expectations according to the US Economics Department. With the revised GDP, then this obviously keeps bad news out there. So GDP came in at 1.4, like we said, which basically then means that that's what I was going to do. I know what I was doing. Which basically means that the Fed are going to not cut rates, which again, we're not super... it's not unusual, right? It's not unusual. We know the kind of Fed's been in there. So, but expectations now on rate cuts, 95%, no rate cuts. Remember, Jerome Powell will be there, but 96%, sorry, is very much a bad news story. But core PCE strips out food and energy and tracks underlying price trends in consumer spending. Policymakers monitor this index because it captures broad baskets of expenditure and is subject to comprehensive data revision. So PCE is going to be the one with a slowing down of GDP, maybe down to the government shutdown, whatever, right? But it is. It's a slowdown. And actually then you've got this US stock index futures dip as the Fed bets shift on jobs. So, the tariff announcement isn't really bad news from a overall sentiment. It's just a bad news in terms of where people believe we're going to get. Now, what's interesting is obviously Friday, stocks are going to feel a little bit weird. And what's even more interesting is they could absolutely come out the other side and rip to the upside. Although I think it would be really volatile, spike to the upside before coming back down. Why? Because everyone's going to assume they're going to get this $175 billion worth of repayments back. And I just don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen, in my opinion. So, people can say what they want, but just don't feel like that's going to be a place. But yeah, the US stock index dips slightly after fresh economic data as investors reassess the Federal Reserve's path according to Reuters. The pullback reflected recalibration rate expectations alongside this sector-specific headlines. So worth noting, by the way, certainly. But obviously it's Friday, so we're not going to get lots in terms of stock market opens. But when you look at, what we got from stocks today, outside of kind of the AI narrative, they actually rallied a little bit, which is kind of interesting. So yeah. I needed this sale time to restock. Maybe not the same for others. Yeah, hey, Crypto King, like we've been saying that. I mean, a lot of people on this channel have been citing stablecoin I went into like 50, 55% stablecoin at 108. So yeah, I'm sat waiting to buy, baby. I'm ready to open up a 6-figure trade at around $61,000 and also to restock some of those altcoin bags as well, ready to rock and roll. So yeah, we're ready for it. We are ready for it again and have been prepping for this. So yeah, we'll see where we get to. But yeah, Sui looks pretty interesting right now. Okay, good. That is the news. They are the headlines for tonight's live stream. So we can keep an eye on what's going on here, particularly on some of this, these kind of trends and stuff. So let me know what you think. Crypto King, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate it. And we'll sort of try and, this could probably feel like a bit more of a fact. Should we put that on there? That feels like, that could be an interesting line, couldn't it? That we grind down to about March 10th, March 15th before we get a break back to the upside. Maybe. Even this day was priced in, and that's why we dumped yesterday and pumped today. That's probably true. I'd like to start. Do you think it's too late to find? No. Do I think it's too late to find them? No. Do I think it's hard? Yes. Is it likely that you're going to find it? No. All right. And if people tell you, someone messaged me the other day. Let me tell you a story, right? Someone messaged me the other day and they said, hey, 2-Bit, love your content. Great. Love your channel. You've got a great community. Would you like to join a private trade signals group? And I was like, I'm not in any kind of private group, right? We have our own like Discord one, but I'm not in like a private trade group where you get these like cabals. And I thought, it'd be kind of cool. Like, see what there is. See if we can kind of filter back. I was like, all right, yeah, sound like, chuck me into the group. Let's see what it is. So I go into the group. There's like 11,000 people. I message the guy back and say, hey, like, I'm not about joining a group for 11,000 people. Like, this is just not me. I can go and join any group I want that has like 11,000 people, okay? And they were like, oh, no, but you can join our VIP group. Like, in there, we tell you when to sell. We tell you when to buy. We tell you what tokens we're pumping. And I'm like, what's the catch? They're like, it's 5 sol if you want to join it. You're like, get the fuck out of here. Like, don't come at me and be like, do you want to join a training group? Just chuck me in some public forum and then try and charge me 5 Solana to join another one. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, have we discussed the aliens yet? No, not yet. That's next on the list. That is next on the list. I cloud mining now because it takes the emotion away from it. Yeah, I mean, look, that's fine. My opinion, the odds, there's more odds of the tariffs being reversed tomorrow by the Supreme Court going in on their days off and saying they got it wrong and public announcing they got it all wrong than there is of you finding a 1000x meme coin. That's just my personal opinion, by the way. They are not easy to find. Everyone trades bad unless they short every little pump on a 15 cent. I mean, that's true. I mean, look, again, trading's not for everybody. Be smart, be sensible, and understand you can lose everything when you trade it. So really important. Really important. Okay. So that's where we sit with that. Futures markets, well, it's probably not worth looking until Sunday because obviously nothing's happening over the weekend. They're actually pricing looking reasonably okay. So we'll not get too much into that right now. I don't think it's particularly worth it, to be honest. But yeah. So if you do have any questions, thoughts, opinions, views, whatever, I'm always open for chat. All right. So drop it in. As we talked about yesterday, helps the channel, interactions, all that kind of good stuff. So feel free, drop some likes, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel, by the way, and just ask away. Give yourself some questions. I mean, the question I have for everybody is, do we think the official announcement of aliens come in, as Crackerjack said, is going to be bad for the markets? I mean, I don't care. As long as they buy crypto, I couldn't really give two shits. But, oh man, why does it do this? Why have you done this? Bruh. What is going on here? Why does anyone know why double screens? I mean, it's kind of wild, isn't it? It's kind of wild that we could like double screen like this. I mean, I didn't know you could do this for a long time, but maybe we double screen it. How does people feel about the double screen? Let's not forget about Iran. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Playing with leverage is where it went crazy. I mean, that's true, gold mining. Yeah, leverage is a dangerous game. Is this Windows? Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Just the double window crew, like, what the hell? Like, bro, can I make this? Oh, I can. No, bro. Look at this. Holy crap. I've never thought we could do this before. Man, we can just leave the price of BTC here, like while we're just consistently talking about everything else. Maybe I could even go one step further and do that look. Oh, yeah, that's fresh. I mean, that's fresh, everybody. Bruh, are you kidding me right now? We can put it on the 5-minute chart and we can watch what's going on here live and direct on BTC. Absolutely wild. Look at that. I'm Linux. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool. Look at this. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, so alien footage. I mean, I'll tell you what is important, by the way. It's good if I didn't have anything weird here on this screen, wasn't it? That would have been really weird. Close this view. Let's do that. All right. It's a bit weird for my liking. Okay. So let's get into it then. Let's try to understand. Sports psychologist back in the house. Mr. A, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. LT, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. By the way, if you have any thoughts, any questions, any concerns, all the rest of it, do let me know. Let's talk about it. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this. I mean, if you are, and I don't mean this to be naive, and I don't mean this to be kind of like, snob. If you believe that there is no such thing as aliens, you are out of your mind, in my opinion. You are out of your mind because there's just no way. But yeah, if you guys saw this, Trump announcing this is based on the tremendous interest shown. I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. Like, I mean, what do you think's going to come out? What? Harlem. Good on, buddy. Like, think about how crazy this is going to be. Imagine they come out and they go, yep, there was definitely UFO definitely landed at Roswell. Yes, we definitely got some aliens. Actually, there's now 3,000 aliens living among us. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? Are you Justin Bieber as an alien? He did this in his first term, releasing videos of UFOs. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, do we honestly believe that the powers that rule the world, yeah, I imagine Crypto King as well, with the powers that rule the world are going to just be like, yep, here is, I mean, think about how like insane this would be, that they release some like footage of aliens living among us. I mean, can you imagine like how crazy that would be? People will be like, oh my God, I knew it. Sandra, have you seen Trump's released all footage of aliens? I knew Barbara down road were a bloody alien. I knew it. They've been here the entire time. Don't do it to me. Hey, have you seen that family down road? That bloody aliens they are. Told you they were. We've got a flying saucer in back garden. Just be insane, wouldn't it? Oh, dear me. I try walking around my local town. I have my suspicions. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, the powers that be are going to be like, you are not releasing anything to do with aliens, you crazy man. Not a chance. Not a chance. All right, let's stick with a 5-minute chart here. BTC rallying, by the way, which is kind of super interesting, isn't it? Where and how high does it go, though, everybody? That is the big question. I mean, technically, breaking above the 236 Fibonacci going the other way is kind of wild. Is kind of wild if you think about it. Maybe. Any footage will be brushed? Yeah, I think so as well. Plenty of aliens round Leeds, mate. I mean, Steve, tell me about it. There's some proper weirdos. Anyway, watch out for the aliens. Watch out for the aliens. Okay, so BTC right now trying to show a little bit of strength here, which is kind of interesting if you ask me. Let's take it to the bottom of this move on the channel, which is kind of there. So we're looking for a close around 68,000. Might give us a nice little push to the upside. The weekend pump. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. Please could you take a look at Tau? Just gone quite heavy into it, man. Okay, tell me why. I'm always curious why people are in there. Trump saying something about aliens is the way. Yeah, I mean, that is also the other bit as well, isn't it? I'm just going to try and change this chat thing. I'm going to go to 2000 and see if that looks. Oh, that's a bit better, isn't it? That's a bit better. How does that look for you guys? Can you guys see that all right? There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? It kind of feels a little bit more vibey. A little bit more vibey. Yeah, I bet he is as well. I bet he is. Okay, right. Tau. T-A-O. It's in the game. We talked about Tau, I think, a while back. 178, though, does feel like it's very, let's say, well-priced as opposed to undervalued. Yeah, so we said, didn't we? Tau's at a very interesting point. If it can hold this line here, and then you got, the triple bottom coming in. So, this could, again, this is the problem with CoinMarketCap. It keeps deleting all your things when you do it. So yeah, so potentially you get these kind of free bounce. So this could absolutely signal a bounce here. So look, if you're going to go into it, probably the best time to do it, in my opinion. Probably the best time to do it. So yeah, good luck. I don't know anything or too much about what they're doing, what they've got coming, but I mean, what are you looking for? 232. I mean, you'd argue actually that's probably the first move there. We're on the weekly candles here. Let's go to the 24 hours. Look at that from a move perspective. So it needs to hold around about 180 is what you want to see it break back. Otherwise, you might see this break down a little bit further. But hold 180. You can see there, look, 618 Fibonacci at 206. A little bit of key resistance. So you need a hold at 180, a break above 206. Might see you print a little bit high to the upside. Key area of volume here sitting between 206 and 224. So it needs to hold this line, though. If it doesn't, then watch out. Tau may end up going down a little bit further. So keep your eyes peeled. The exact reason I prefer trading is not investing. I'm 99% in this. Well, I mean, that's true. Thing is, if you can trade it and you've got the time to do it, then, trading's fine. Trading is fine. I like to do both and just, play a little bit as to where we want to get to. So just in my opinion. By the way, if you haven't already signed up to a great cryptocurrency trading account, check out Bitunix. I will have one for Bluefin actually, which is going to be pretty fun, as I'm just in the last few days of setting up that AI trading opportunity. But I know this one looks like it's run out, but you can also get some pretty sick bonuses, sign-up bonuses, all that good stuff. Check out the link in the description. Head over there, get signed up. Obviously, I haven't signed out of this because I still was kind of messing around with this last night, but definitely worthwhile checking out Bitunix. Link in the description. Head over, get signed up. Totally worth it. All right. Totally worth it. All right. There we go then. Good. That's done. That's done. That's done. Let's keep an eye on the price. Atom chart looks good at the moment, mate. Oh, nice. I haven't looked at Atom for a while. We were talking about that the other night. Good staking rewards on Atom. Let's just send it already. Yeah. I mean, up 2.7. I mean, I saw there's some developments going for Terra Luna, of all things. Specifically Luna Classic, actually, that they are starting to look at repayments for people. I mean, that would be insane if you think about it. If they can get in a world where they're going to start repaying people for Terra Luna Classic, that'd be wild. That would be wild, actually. That'd be wild. But yeah, I mean, Atom looks okay. 1.15 billion market cap. Volume is a bit bad, 8% negative. So do watch out. If you see a further decline in volume, then price may push down, but, you know, we'll see. I think there's delays. Some of these alts will pump soon. Just like these ones did, to show some life. I mean, that's possibly true. If you get some rotation, we need sort of a rotation of capital, really, don't we? Rotation of capital starts to get a bit more, fun. I think until you get that, it's a bit like, you know, we'll see. We'll see. All right, people, good. So the price of Bitcoin right now holding up at around 67,744. Like APT looks like it's going to go lower, and then it might again. Yeah. Okay. So the 5 months. Let's get it, baby. Thank you so much. Says aliens to distract from the global financial reset. Feels like it. The aliens are going to protect us from not buying XRP. That's the idea. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Who would know it? Anyway. And I believe it's still in the top 10. What's that for? Aptos. Yeah, Aptos. We've been talking about Aptos for a while. It hasn't really got back to the 2021 hype, but yeah, I mean, Aptos has got some cool shit going on right now. The only thing, didn't they get a big, like one of their core team members left? I feel like I saw some shit on Asta as well earlier that there's like no one's trading on it, which is kind of wild. It's kind of wild when you think about it. Yeah, Cosmos, look at that, the 51st. Highest ranked cryptocurrency. Where is it? Aptos, yeah, 69 at 8 cents. I mean, 87 cents is, I mean, if you think Aptos is going to come back, bear in mind that was $18. If you remember 2021, most of us were in Aptos. Similar with Arbitrum. I mean, look at Arbitrum, it's 9 cents right now. That's insane. We were saying that. It used to be $1. I mean, once it dipped below $1, we said, look, Arbitrum is just a governance token. It's doing absolutely nothing. But this is the point, like right now, if you believe long-term this market's going to be fine and that you are in a world where actually opportunity is screaming in your face, like look at some of these fucking coins. I mean, just let's go down the list. Okay, we haven't done this for a while. Let's go down the list and talk about some of these coins that are worth it. Tim, member for 3 months. Let's get it, Tim. I mean, he's been a member for way longer, but shout out to Tim. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Man, shout out to you guys renewing those memberships. Loving life right now. Loving life. Thank you so much. So, yeah, let's talk about where some of these coins sit and if they are a good value buy or not. All right. So Cardano at 28 cents. Maybe. Hyperliquid I've been talking about for a while. I think Hyperliquid could be a good one. 29.94. Definitely might be worth it. In my opinion. Man, gold looks like it's pumping right now. I just saw a message come off my phone. Dead quick. Let's take a look at gold. So gold's, yeah, 5103 on gold. Wow, making it happen right now. And if you, so whoever that person is that's just dropped into the Discord, do make sure you verify. It's super easy. I don't know why people struggle. You do /verify. It brings a code up. You do /verify code and the code. It literally tells you how to do it when you go into the start here. All right. The only way you get access to the rest of the Discord is by verifying. It stops loads of choppers getting into there. So yeah, Hype I think is a good one. Definitely something that's worthwhile keeping an eye on. Let's go, Beebs. Love it. Remember for 1 month, Beebs. Wait, bro, you've been longer. You've been a member longer than that, right? You're in the premium Discord. I'm sure you are. Beebs, yeah, I thought you were. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Oh, man, it's nice when you see loads of like new like the memberships busting up. Back on the side of crypto home. I like my stablecoins and hopefully getting a nice yield. Well, I mean, that's where mine are right now. I told you guys before, I've got Pepe staked. I've got my USDT staked as well. It's all nice. What are the chances Bitcoin is going to drop or go higher and why? So my view is that Bitcoin will come lower. I think it retests the low range around $96,000. Sorry, $60,000. Why? Because I think I think you will get some further pushes down. You can start to see a slight slowing in the economy, and you therefore will see, in my opinion, a cool down. And PMI might be the indicator. If ISM manufacturing comes in negative, I would expect a dump in the market. So yeah, I think it comes down a little bit. So what else? Got Chainlink at 894. I think it's a good buy. Would you go into Monero and like, would you go into Monero and Zcash? I don't know if, I mean, Zcash at 260 feels like a steal, but I don't know if it will ever come back to what it was before. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Avalanche at $9 is steal. Sui, I think, is a steal. 95 cents is a very good price on Sui, by the way. I think that's good. Pepe, I mean, it's an argument to say that Pepe right now is probably worth it. Just as a DCA potential, but yeah. I mean, Picoin, have you guys still got that, by the way? Yeah, I think so, Fat Sonic. That's what I was saying. I don't know if I would go into it. I mean, Canton's probably the best bet in that sector, I would argue. But yeah, are you guys still in Picoin? Ondo, I think, is super, super undervalued. If you assume they are actually going to bring treasuries and equity markets on chain. If you believe that, and you believe that Ondo could be at the heart of all of that, Ondo is probably the most undervalued coin out there, in my view. Just in my view. ICP, I've never really got. 220, obviously, after that wick back up, I still think it's crap. Casper, I mean, are we still bullish on Casper? I kind of feel like we're not. Doesn't mean it can't rally. Needs some pretty new stuff, though. Quan at 66 is probably a decent buy, personally. Think so. Pump Fund, I've been saying Pump Fund's one to watch. Not on my shopping list, but I'd argue Pump's definitely one to keep your eye out for. I mean, Wadi and everyone else seems to be talking about VeChain. Again, no idea why VeChain would even be entering people's views, but hey, maybe it gets a rally, maybe not. Say's in there, Pudgy Penguins. Dash, you see, Dash came back. Tezos, not sure about that one equally, if I'm dead honest. And then Chili's, I know Fairground's a big fan of Chili's. And then you've got a few others. So very interesting top 100 coins right now. Not what you'd kind of expect. A lot of different coins out there. Maybe you can look at ENA and say about their stablecoin narrative and how Clarity Act reflects on them. Well, ENA already has staking, doesn't it? And actually you can stake through their protocol, which many do, by the way. Say, I don't know too much about, if I'm dead honest, but yeah, ENA, I'm sure, has a staking pool or staking protocol attached to it, right? Where is it? I thought I'd seen it somewhere. There. I guess everything can move to Solana on ETH and Sui for stables and Hyperliquid. Well, we can take a look at the we can take a look at what's going on with Say, and we can take a look at what's going on with oh my god, why does it keep doing that? Why does it keep doing that? Stop doing that. Bruh. Where did that screen just go? Oh man, that's annoying. That's annoying. Husky Tom, membership for 4 months. Man, you guys are crushing it. Loving the membership vibes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. You absolute legends. Appreciate it. Okay, yeah, so I wanted to look at this. Yeah, Printer Block Canton, we looked at it earlier on, actually. We'll take another look in just a second. So, what was I going to look at? So, Sui. So, look at Sui, 573 million market cap. I mean, think about this, by the way. When it was at all-time high, it had a $2.51 billion TVL. But look at the stablecoin market cap, 554. Like, it's all in stablecoins, which is kind of wild if you think about it. So, let's take a look, for example, at Say. So we can see 51 million. I mean, 130 million in market cap on stablecoins, which is kind of interesting. It's actually increasing, by the way. It's top. So you look, Ondo yield assets. Man, that's pretty crazy. 50 million. Sapphire, Apollo, Gabe, Kaio, Yay Finance. So not too much in terms of what they've got. RWA, Dex, RWA. So Say's big for RWA for sure. But I mean, look at this. This was like 500 million. So it's down like, it's down a significant chunk, isn't it? But stablecoin, this is kind of, if you compare this, for example, say with, you know, $130 million worth of stablecoins, you compare that to like Cardano as an example. If you believe that Cardano might do something, look how pathetic it is. $37 million worth of stablecoin narrative on Cardano. It's the biggest problem they have, by the way. It's the biggest problem they have. Stays undervalued too, but it's just so confusing trying to figure out which of the narratives. I mean, that's true. I mean, the reason I like Sui is you've got an increase in builders. You've definitely got an increase in their DEX volume. So again, you think about where this was spiking to around nearly $1 billion. I think it's going to come back again. And it has a massive market cap on stablecoins, which I think is important. If you think about where the world's going, Clarity Act, the assumption then the banking sector comes into the market, do I think they're going to go to Sui? No, they'll go to Ethereum. They might go to an Ethereum layer 2, but I mean, they could even go to freaking Canton. That'd be pretty wild, wouldn't it? But yeah, that's why I like Sui, because I think it does offer a lot in terms of what you see with, you know, things like Ethereum and all the rest of it. And it could use it, and it is super, super quick. Super quick. Canton is a difficult one as the newish coin now. Will it retrace on the fib 70 to 80% lower? I mean, maybe. The point here is, though, it's like Pepe, isn't it? When Pepe launched, I know Pepe's a meme coin, by the way, but I know when it launches in a bearish market, the assumption is always, where is it going to go? How high could it rally? And arguably, you'd say, well, Canton's holding up pretty well here. Obviously, we're on a 4-hour chart rather than the slightly bigger time frame, but, you know, again, though, 20-day EMA. Just saying, remember, we have our full trade guides in our Discord. Just become a channel member. You get access to them for all of what you need to learn. The full 20-day EMA trade guide, in my opinion, one of the most bullish things you can get involved in. It talks you through some of the statistics, what you can do, what you need to be aware of, how you set your trades up, where you can look in terms of trending, all of this. By the way, you get this totally for free once you become a channel member. Eventually, we'll put this to a way bigger price. You know, once we've kind of got a load of courses in there, you know, this is probably going to be like 25 bucks a month. So if you're not already in, then I definitely recommend you should get involved. But stops and invalidation points, all sorts of cool stuff. Look at this. All right. Totally worth it, in my opinion. All right. But yeah, Canton, definitely interesting. Yeah, definitely holding that 20-day EMA. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're just slightly below it. And if you look at how Canton's performed here, whenever it's above the 20-day, you normally get a bit of a rally. At the minute, it's still bearish. So you're going to have to be mindful of where Canton could go to. Market corrects, we could see Canton wick down. But I mean, look at that. Perfectly on this lower range right now. So yeah, you want Canton to break above the 20 that's sitting around 16339. So break above that, you might be okay. You might be okay. Is probably where I'm at. Welcome in, everybody. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, definitely do so. By the way, it does massively help out the channel. Equally, it just makes you feel better, right? So if you haven't already hit the like button, it costs you nothing. It's dead simple. Go at the bottom of the screen, give a thumbs up. And yeah, likewise on the screen here, just tap it in. Get locked in on TikTok as well. We're all about it. We're here 6 days a week. Although I feel like I should try and stream on TikTok tomorrow, because it's just weird when you don't stream and it all just goes a bit weird. But hey, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. If something like super crazy comes out, then I might jump on a live, but we will see. Okay. Almost looking like one of those coins you could regularly trade within the channel. Yeah, I mean, some of these coins probably indicative of where the market sits right now. That, yeah, if you could trade this, low margin, low leverage, like, yeah, you can. This is the perfect grid bot, which is why I'm excited about trying this new account with the team over at Chart Prime. It is essentially an AI trader on Blowfin. And yeah, you set parameters a little bit like a trading bot. So I'm excited. And just for full disclosure, they are going to fund my account so I can kind of do it and see what's going on with it. So again, we'll walk it through. We'll bring it on the live stream. We'll take a look and see what's happening. But it might be a good thing. You guys can get involved as well. So keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye for it. Pionex has that stuff too. Yeah. So this is slightly different from grid traders to yeah, what they're offering. So again, just trying to get everything set up, but could be fun. Like, we'll see what it does. In my opinion, we will see what it does. Like here, look. Let me. Is it gonna bring it up? Yeah, this is kind of the whole thing. So beat the market. Apparently, again, I'm not hitting on it, but talks about, you know, entries and all the rest of it. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And like I said, when you get them to fund it, it makes it just a little bit more acceptable. They're obviously confident in their stuff, by the way, as well. So yeah. Bingo's wondering what happened to the grid bot training video. Oh yeah, and I said I was going to do that, didn't I? Yeah, I need to do it. Well, let's do this first because this thing could be even more fun. And don't forget, you guys can get access to this once we agree everything. Once we agree everything, it's because Fairground put green. Once I agree everything with them, then yeah, we'll do it and we'll see where it gets to. I mean, maybe it's going to be good, maybe it's going to be terrible. I don't know. But we'll try it, and yeah, we'll see where we get to. It could be fun. It could be fun, in my opinion. All right. Good. Let's take a quick look at Dex tools. I don't think there's anything going on over here, by the way. The only one that I have bought into, or you guys know about, was obviously a VC investor into Zero, which is at what? Man, take another dump. So it's at 129.5k. This is going to be an interesting one because what you've got here is loads of pre-sale wallets being unlocked every day, and then they just dump the market, and then it kind of grinds slowly back up. But yeah, interesting right now. Again, I haven't shared this in the premium Discord. I don't think it would be a good idea to get in just yet. I'd just wait and see. It's got like another 4 days of token unlocks before then it's donezo. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on it. Keep your eyes peeled on it. But their Telegram's pretty fun. If you haven't got into their Telegram, they've got like a couple of bots in there that are happening. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Okay, right, good. Let's bring up BTC and just see what's going on here. Yeah, we'll do it, Craig. We'll definitely do it. Like I said, this thing that we're trying to get hooked up could be fun, in my opinion. It could be fun. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can I bring this up? Let me just check that is actually okay to bring up. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so AI adaptive intelligence, our AI model learns from vast amounts of historical and live market data, data-driven precision, speed and scale, backtesting, optimization. I mean, we'll see. Like I say, it could be fun. It could be an interesting one. And if it's good, by the way, then you guys get it as well. So this will go to our private group members as well, obviously. So if you are interested, if you remember, then you'll get access to it. Remember, they said, quote, you'll potentially give it to your community, which will kind of be fun. So keep your eye on it. Keep your eyes on it. Never miss a thing, you see. Look, join the Discord. Totally worth it. And it's free. Unless you want a little bit more access, whether that's trade bots. I saw who was getting some trades in there. Oh, Craig was looking at Canton. Love it, Craig. Love it. XCN, BMX in the building. What's going on, buddy? What is going on, my friend? XCN. There she is. 2%. Look at this. Look how insane that chart is, that graph. Still below that. So you still need to see that break here that hasn't broke above. We're looking for a 519 break to the upside. Retest on the 50 might be interesting here. So, you know, whether we get that or not, don't know. Doesn't look that favorable. Volume is particularly garbage. So be mindful of that one. Can you imagine as a community, we chuck in 50 bucks and we all grid bot trade, see who comes out with better coin? I mean, that's true. Grid bots are wild, bro. They're wild. I don't think Bitunix does it, in fairness. I don't think so. Let's have a look. But I don't think it does it. Futures. Small amounts add up over time. Auto invest. Promotions. Yeah, I see. I don't think they do it. Third party credit. Follow top traders. Coin of yeah. I don't think they do it. Don't think they do it. Oh my god! I keep yawning. Start trading. Swiftcoin. Yeah, I mean, Swiftcoin was having another run as well, actually, when we looked at that. Yeah, 6%. So it's had 2 really good days. Held up off the 786 as well, which is kind of nice. Did get rejected here at the 50-day EMA. So, oh my god, let me do that. So do be mindful of that one. You want to see this kind of push a little bit higher at a key area of volume support. So break above the 50 at like 204 could actually be good news. Yeah, Mexi, I believe, do it. Blowfin do it. I think Binance do it. I think that's where I did it on Binance, but I close all my Binance accounts because I'm a bit like, But I think Mexi do it. But yeah, anyway, this chart prime thing, let me get the Blowfin account set up and then we'll do it. Do you think the car chat passes sooner rather than later? Yeah, I kind of feel like it. Isn't there a deadline now on it as March the 1st or something? Hold on a minute. I thought there was a deadline put on it. So 3 hours ago, the odds of passing the Clarity Act were 90%. But I thought Trump had put us the thing on it. Provided we continue to have good faith engagement from both sides on the issue, I fully expect that we meet the deadline. I'm sure it's March the 1st or March the 31st. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I thought I knew there was one somewhere. So, White House sets March the 1st deadline on stablecoin reward dispute. Officials aim to resolve the stablecoin yield standoff by March the 1st. Shout out to you, bud. And clear the path for advancing the broader crypto market structure bill Clarity Act. Okay, yeah, so March the 1st. So literally like 9 days away. 9 days away. So yeah, I mean, definitely feels like it could pass sooner rather than later. It's all going to depend on whether they can get it through out there. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. So let's hope so. I mean, if the view is that the banking sector is waiting to get in because they want the Clarity Act passing, then yeah, we need to get the Clarity Act passed. And people go, well, we don't want to let banks into the crypto market, blah, blah, blah. Look, I've always said this. If it makes the price go up, I'm down for it. All right? I'm down for it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Bitcoin here on the 5-day chart, not doing a lot. Let's go to the daily. I mean, chart is a bit boring, isn't it? There's not a lot going on here. Mike, what you mentioned earlier about the March, the 2nd of March or the 3rd, what information was coming up? PMI. So we said, didn't we, that 3rd of March was essentially 10 days from now. The PMI, so ISM manufacturing data that essentially tells you whether you've got expansion in manufacturing in the US or not. Remember, last time it flipped to 52.6, assuming then you have expansion. That is the next one to come up. So again, we get that 3rd of March. So could tell us that actually we're seeing a little bit more in terms of expansion in the markets. Equally, if it comes in bad, then yeah, that could be part of the trek to Goblin Town. I'm 5% up on all 3 of my trades right now. Nice, Fat Sonic. Are you long on? You're long on the market, right? I feel like you're long on the market. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. Can't remember. Can't remember what you said. Man, that 12-hour chart looks pretty nice, though, doesn't it? Looks pretty nice there on the, you know, the M pattern. If we don't get the breakdown of the M pattern, where do we go there? I mean, that's the big question. Well, I wonder what could tell me. Is there anything anywhere that could tell me what patterns are going to play out? Well, let's take a look at the 2-Bit Crypto chart patterns guide. Oh, this is kind of cool. And how do you get this 2-Bit Crypto? Well, I'm simply a channel member, so I get it for free. Oh, nice. People charge $200 for this. Right, it's not head and shoulders pattern, is it? Inverse head and shoulders. Doesn't feel like that either right now. Nope. Double top, triple top, double bottom, bullish reversal. Whoop, whoop. Is that a double bottom bullish reversal? Maybe. The wick down, bullish reversal, bullish reversal. Let's take a look at it. Initial support and capitulation. Second off is accumulation phase before the breakout. The double bottom predicts bullish reversals with 75% accuracy, forming when price tests support level twice before breaking higher. Interesting. Well, that does look like it breaks a support level twice, actually, at the lower end. I don't know why I'm talking like this, by the way. Is this a double bottom with a bullish reversal? Hey, maybe it is on the 12-hour chart. Maybe. Let's take a look. What else does it tell us here to look at? Crypto specifics. Look for a 30% plus volume increase on the breakout. Confirm with positive RSI divergence. More reliable when BTC is stable or rising, and use on balance volume to validate the accumulation. So we're looking for a 30% move on volume. Well, right now we don't have that. So maybe that invalidates that potential chart. Okay, well. Oh, is it the triple bottom bullish reversal? Ooh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe it is. Volume should decrease with each trough. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, think about that. It's like $7 a month, and you get literally a chart diagram you can go through and walk through. All of these, by the way, we're adding to it every single time as well. So, anyway, just my opinion. Check it out. Would the tariff refund affect the PMI information? I mean, technically, it might actually be better because it would mean that they got double bottom of the 15-minute and a bull flag. Innovative knows what's going on. I mean, maybe, because actually that would put essentially money back into the manufacturer's pockets. But the problem is Trump's done a lot of stimulus for manufacturing. Would it make a big deal? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Difficult to say. Difficult to say. They've got to get the tariff refunds out. That's the thing. They'll take, I think Trump himself said, 2 years it'll take to get anywhere near a bill to pass that. Yeah. Now the US markets are closed. Iran tonight will be the regime change by the Monday. Well, I mean, yeah, we haven't really talked about Iran. We probably should do, actually, really quickly. I haven't seen anything, though. One Trump said 10 days, 2 years really. So, yeah, I haven't seen anything specifically on Iran right now. Doesn't feel like anything's kind of going on. Doesn't feel like anything super weird's happening. So maybe, I mean, is he going to do tariffs and Iran in the same night? That'd be wild. That would actually be pretty fucking wild if you ask me. Maybe he does. Maybe he just goes all in and just power nukes everything. He's like, oh, they stole my tariffs. I'm going to go in on Iran. Oh, come on, bro. Let's take a look. I don't think anything's happening bad-wise in terms of air traffic, so that's obviously an indication. Where am I here? What am I doing? Where is... Here, it's over here, isn't it? Yeah, down here. Man, I had no idea what I was doing then. So, I mean, airspace is a little bit light. But, again, nothing like super crazy, nothing weird at the minute. These are all Turkish cargo planes. Everyone's, I mean, imagine they're like, oh yeah, can you, like, you're going into Kuwait as an example, or Doha, like, oh yeah, just fly over Iran. You're like, holy shit, I think so, bro. In fact, Sonic, are you saying the Olympics are being held in Iran? Bitcoin 70K tomorrow. Oh, Fairground's getting bullish. Fairground's bullish. Yeah, I don't see that. It doesn't look like there's any sort of planes or anything at this moment going out there. So, and equally, I don't see anything. I don't see any noise build up on X. So, if the countries that are involved in the Olympics are shutting down the airspace, right. Let's just take a quick look here, really quickly, and not seeing anything to do with the Iran issue at this moment in time. So I'm gonna say, I mean, you just never know, do you? I mean, maybe Trump's just gonna be like, he's like Marco Rubio's having told him that, like, Donald, no. He's like, going on Iran. Donald, it's not the right night to do it. Yeah, so I mean, I can't see anything specifically that's telling us that there's like some shit going down, but yeah, we'll keep close to it. Great time into Iranian observations. US assets in the Gulf on Oman/Arabian Sea, apparently. President Donald J. Trump has received several briefings on his military operations against Iran should he choose to strike, all of them designed to maximize damage to Iran. Okay, cool. Yeah, so as it stands right now, it is quiet in the world of Iran. Let's hope it stays that way. Most of the governments of countries that matter, like Jordan, for example, aren't going to get on board. I don't think many are, in fairness. I mean, even the UK said that, like, Trump can't use UK air bases out there. He's like said, nah, can't use them. Can't use them, bro. It's not about it, Donny T. Okay. Let's go into the 15-minute chart here on BTC, and then we are going to get out of here in just a minute. Where are we at now? Man, we've been live an hour and 20. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the live. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely worth it, by the way. 6 days a week. I don't stream on a Saturday. I'll have content there for you guys, but I don't stream on a Saturday. So this is the last stream of the week, and we'll be back Sunday talking all about the setups for the week. What does the market tell us? Where are we going to go? And more importantly, is the tariff news over and done with? But 15-minute right now, BTC actually looks solid. I think, where would you say, Fat Sonic? I'm most curious about your thoughts. But yeah, BTC looks kind of all right now. Maybe we hold on this upper line right now, this kind of, idea. This kind of bullish momentum. Break above the 236 as well. Could start to see a retest of around 68.3. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. It's not that time people think Trump is crazier than he is. That's exactly why he's such a great leader. My thoughts are the same as last week. We hold on 65. We're good. There you go. 67, 685 is where we sit. It's a good risk to reward for a relief rally. That's true. And especially because it's holding up. And if you look here on the 15-minute, I mean, we could probably even go to the 30-minute. You got a nice little bullish move here on the cross here back from the 20 and the 50. And actually, we've moved up since. Even when we dipped below, strength came back above. So right now, you know, arguably, it's why I tried to short the market yesterday. I was kind of like, okay, the market feels like it might be a little bit, you know, it might be, the sellers may be about to get exhausted, maybe a push down, but hey, sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. And in this case, the 2 trades I took were not winners. That's fine. We'll just wait for the next trade. We'll wait for the next opportunity. That's all you got to do. Make sure you're locked in. Like I said, I post most of them in the Discord as and when we take them. So get involved. All right. Cool. Then that, ladies and gentlemen, does bring us to the end of the stream. As always, we thank you so much for tuning in. I massively appreciate you guys. I do want to start getting into a world probably later on as we start to maybe transition to a bit more of a full-time idea that we'll probably do the live and then go and hang out in the Discord for a little bit. I want to get the Discord moving. It's great. We've got loads of people in there. It is pretty quiet though. That's all I will say. I mean, some people post in there regularly, you guys keeping it real, but be nice to kind of have that move in. And again, if you aren't already in the Discord, definitely check it out. It's totally worth it in my opinion. So thanks so much everybody who did their renewals on channel memberships. It means a lot, does massively help out the channel, and more importantly, helps out the journey that we want to be going. Remember, I'm not going to be live tomorrow, but I'll be back Sunday with all the latest going on in the crypto market. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Keep clear on the plan. In my view, one more downside move, and then I think we're heading higher. Right. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you back here Sunday night. Thank you so much, everybody. Catch you soon.